Can everyone see correctly? Yes? Good. Okay. So, 谢谢各位家长和同学们。那么今年我们这个夏令营是从2021年开始。那么在2020年的时候，这个 AFI 和思慧学院就诞生了。那么今年呢，前面的我们在疫情的时候是 online 的夏令营。在2021年的时候，我们就有线下夏令营，从这个 online 转成了线下。今年呢，我们是从纽约转到了麻省理工麻州的这个Springfield 春田的这个城市。那么这个城市呢是美国的第2大城市。它也是这个学校呢是我最近刚刚收购的这个私立高中。那么它坐落在 Springfield。Springfield 也是 the city of the first。这个 Springfield 呢，它也是全美国全美国最多的这个第1的城市。比如说它是第1个枪支，第1个字典，第1个 game。第1个这个汽车的发源地，还就是在这个美国生产地，还有很多很多的第1。那么所以我们来到这个城市，刚才放的是这个简单的视频哈，等一下呢我回头中间也再放一次。那么这个学校呢，我们最近呢也是我们思慧学院AFI 的一个基地。那么我最近刚刚收购，有19.7亩地。那么这个学校也是一个100年老校。在11年前是一个叫 Madelphi 的这个全女子的私立高中。那么附近最早的这些非常有名的企业家的女儿都在这个学校读，所以这个学校的设施都是非常齐全的。那么当然，在这个2011年的时候呢，非常不幸有一个龙卷风就是袭击了整个 Springfield 这个春田这个城市。所以呢，这个学校当时有4栋楼，它的楼顶就是被破坏。那么这个 Madelphi 这个学校呢，它就转到了周围邻居大概50分钟的地方。那么这个学校呢就被当地一个慈善家买下来，然后又重新开了一个学校，叫 Springfield Commonwealth Academy。那么这个学校呢，从它成立到现在呢，这个一直在发展这个体育。因为这个Springfield 是篮球的起源地，it's the origin of the basketball from Springfield。所以这个学校呢，就是主要是现在呢有这个篮球、棒球。当然它同时也一直是 co-ed 男女生这样的一个学校，是一个住宿学院。那么刚才讲到，也介绍一下思慧学院哈。这个思慧学院呢是跟当时在2020年疫情的时候成立了这个 AFI 的时候，我当时是想我们在疫情，那么这个青少年怎么办？所以呢我们同时成立了这个思慧学院。在这个思慧学院这个成立的过程里面，我们自己研发了这个投资、创业、领导力，当时还有这个 public speaking 这些课程。所以我们的这些学生都是在过去的几年跟我们最早的时候一起成长的。所以今天呢非常荣幸能够他们。那么当然在过去的这个自从成立以来，这里只是其中一部分我们知道的这个学生的成绩。但是呢我们还有很多很多的学生take 了我们的课程，然后呢后来呢自己去参加比赛，而且好多学生是连续几年都参加比赛。比如说我的老二，那我家老二也是连续3年参加沃顿商学院比赛，也参加这个钻石。也是3年参加钻石。他们今年他们团队是进了 Top 150。这个投资大赛它有 Top 50然后他会告诉你是 Top 150，就前50名。前面150名，然后呢这个剩下的他就会给你一个证书。所以这个沃顿商赛呢是我们最早参加的这个比赛。那么每年都有6000个队左右。我们是连续的学生都上了我们的课程或者夏令营。但我们从2022年就转成线下夏令营了。那么在夏令营里面都是以这个课程和这个运动为结合。那么大家看到我们基本上是连续，我们是每年都有1到2个队，这样今年有3个队进入了 Top 50。后来有1个队也进入了 Top 10这个我们的 Jasmine 的队也进了 Top 10，然后他是进入 Top 502次。那么 Diamond Challenge 呢，今年呢去年我是亲自在场，所以我去年还跟这几位小朋友一起照了相。所以 last year I was in the Diamond Challenge final, so I take a photo with them, so familiar face with them。所以去年也是我们有个队也是我们的学生参加队拿到冠军。是这个 Diamond Challenge 这个商业大赛，它是分成2个，一个是那个Innovation Business Innovation， 还有 Social Impact。 所以我们都是在这个 Business Innovation 去年拿了冠军，然后今年呢，这个我们的 Alex 和 Bill 他们也是在我们这个平台上互相认识，也非常优秀然后呢，他们2位同学同时呢，就是今年是 Co-President of IFA，然后他们今年拿了冠军哈。所以这个也是，这大家对，在看到这个照片哈，这里面有我们去年的冠军团队，也有我们投资的一般来说参加投资课以后是个基础学好了，他们都会去参加 Diamond Challenge。好，那么今年呢，我们跟平常推出的夏令营呢，有最主要的夏令营还是我们的投资夏令营，有2周半。然后呢，我们也继续2周半的投资夏令营完了以后呢，我们会继续有这个2周的创业夏令营。同时呢，我们还有这个针对这个从其他国家来的有这个游学，这个 leadership and travel 这个夏令营呢，我们主要是跟不同的学校，当然我们中间可能还有其他我们现在还在设计一些AI 的夏令营，但是主要是跟机构合作进行夏令营。那么这主要是我们现在主打的夏令营。好，那我们这些都是我们过去的一些图片啊，过去的一些上课，这也是我们的小林老师小林老师呢，就是在过去也参与我们的辅导那这次他这个可能不能线下，那线上也会参与辅导，他也是从第一天就跟我们一起研发这些课程，那么这是我们新的学校的这个校址啊，这个现在呢就是基本上这是我们的教学楼，大概是在19叫 Luxembourg Hall。那么这个是我们现在的男生楼，这个呢也是我们的男生楼，我们正在装修这个女生楼然后这个这栋楼呢是我们的这个家长的这个来了以后可以住在这里，是我们的一个宿舍哈，就是像非常好就是一个属于像hotel 一样的这个 mansion 叫 Valentine Mansion 那也是这是其中的几栋楼。那么我们女生呢，这个也是这栋楼是女生楼，所以刚才的照片没有女生楼现在呢正在全面装修，应该在2个星期之内就能结束这个照片下面的有一栋楼，那么大家现在可以看到，这就是我们最近刚刚照的照片These are the photo from currently this is our SCA summer camp living 的样子，这些呢是我们的这个学生现在我们还有大概80多位运动的学生在这个学校里面还没有结束This is our library 就是我们的课程我们这个把 library 变成了这个 multi-function 的这样的一个classroom， 所以我们的这个课程像这个教室是可以坐30多个人，然后另外一半这个conference room 很大，所以它应该是可以容得下80多个人，所以我们到时候我们上这个business 课程group study 我们也会在这里。那么刚才看到我们的教学楼楼大概总共有3楼我们还有这个 weight room 有健身房，还有这个 gym indoor gym indoor。那么这个是这个其中像这个学校大家看到这个照片，而且这位是我们现在的这个篮球的学生The picture on the bottom, the boy, he's also our current student. So behind him, the house that is going to be our girls' dorm. So it's also every house on the campus have a story. It's one famous people's house. They always, one of the houses is one of the first owner who opened the first department store called Andrew Wallace, and also one of the house is first superintendent of Springfield Armory。所以我们的学校的每一栋房子都是个历史都是有故事的。所以那下面这里看是我们上个星期在这个男生楼 This picture is we have made a dumpling have a dinner in one of the student dorm， 就是每一个 dorm house 它都有自己的 kitchen， 还有它自己的休息房间好，这个呢，这是我们上课，这也是我们这个全联合我们的 partner， 也是我们的 instructor， 他会到现场来讲这个关于 sustainable innovation那他也是我这个 United Nations Climate Action 这个 program 的 partner， 就是我也是跟这个 Mr. Tai 合作，带着学生去参加这个联合国的气候大会，这也是我的 partner。然后可以看一下这个我们整个的这个课程这个家长呢可能也想了解我们都得教什么。那么我们是设计了一个系列的Level 1 to 5 investment class。那么这个 class 呢，就是 combine the knowledge of the college, actually it's college level of the investment macroeconomic microeconomic 就这还有这个 company analysis、stock analysis、portfolio analysis。那么我们的这个课程呢是抓住精华，先从这个最简单的讲起，然后由浅入深。当然最优秀的孩子呢，可以最后我们会给他材料，他可以自学更 advanced， 然后他可以参加比赛。那么凡是参加我们上课的呢，我们都会提供免费的一些 advice 和 review 这个 final。我们现在比赛呢，这个如果同学们自己组队有什么问题来问我们的导师，他也会 answer the question。那么我们的课程呢，这样这个投资的这个夏令营呢，就是把我们40到60个小时的课程，当然我们是取其精华，基本上是morning classes， 早上都会在上课，然后呢下午可能会有些活动或者是 group 的 case study， 下午会有些 case study， 然后呢晚上我们会接着这个 case study 和这个还有一些 CEO 啊或者一些finance 的这些professional 来分享。所以我们的这个summer camp 基本上每2个晚上都会有现场或者是 room 的这些very inspiring people come to sharing with the student successful entrepreneur youth investment profession。 所以我们也有些家长也很愿意来分享，因为家长本身也是非常成功的。那么当然这里对这个刚才把这只是一部分老师哈，这个所以没有全部。到我们的 Frank， 去年是我们 Frank 和 Ray， 我们同时不好意思 Frank 可能是最早的那个 Basket 没有放进去。好，那这里我们的夏令营中间呢，这个 Saturday 和 Sunday。这 Saturday weekend 我们会带着学生呢去参加这个 campus 大学。那么现在我们的这个夏令营呢坐落在麻省的 Springfield， 在中间。我们往上去这个波士顿参观 MIT、Harvard，it's about 1.5 hours。从我们往上，然后呢，我们往下走呢 ，40 minutes， 是耶鲁大学。我基本上每天回家都会经过耶鲁大学 ，pass by Yale。然后呢，2个半到3个小时，3个小时左右呢，我会到 New York City。所以呢，这个我们的这个 camp weekend 呢是在参观仿校和大学。这也是很多家长愿意。当然我们也有周末也有一天可能 Six Flags is 5 minutes away。所以然后我们还有就在我们学校这个，因为 Springfield 我们是坐落在城市的中心 ，we located the center of the city。5 minutes will have a forest park。Designed by the famous designer who designed New York City Central Park. We also have the 2 golf course. 然后还有这个frame of the basketball, frame of volleyball. 所以a lot of things that we can see around the campus, around 5 to 10 minutes away. 那么这个是博物馆哈，这个 Springfield 最有名的就是它的Museum of the First。这样走到里面就可以看到这些最早的这个摩托车 Indian Motor 和那个 David Harry 就是那个 David Hudson 的这个 Harris 的这个2个摩托车，不好意思我可能没讲对，这2个最大的摩托车比赛这个最大的厂家。那么最早的这个 Indian Motor 的它就是起源于 Springfield。这个最早的这个钢还有最早还有这个 Doc Seuss 这个红帽子的这个全世界著名的这个 Doc Seuss， 他也是he original and living here write a story， so a lot of story actually reflect 这个 Springfield。所以这个 museum 也有很多看。那么左下角这个地方呢是这个篮球名人堂，非常有名，每一位篮球明星都会到这里来拿奖哈。而且他每天都有各种各样的这个 basket 的活动，我们是可以 sign up。孩子们这个进去，然后可以去参与他的这个 professional 这个课程或者打篮球。那么对刚才讲的，基本上每天呢就是7点钟起来早餐。然后呢，接着就上课哈。我们基本上是早上有3个小时的这个学习时间，然后呢，我们学校是有这个cafeteria， 就在学校里吃完饭以后呢，我们下午会安排，因为我们的篮球和这个我们还有专业，我们有个老师是professional soccer， 所以我们会下午都安排一些运动或者是这个 field 的参观。然后呢，我们到晚上都是seminar or group study。基本上our every camp is similar like this business camp and investment camp。还有这个游学的话，可能就会出去玩的 field trip 更多一些。这个投资 camp 呢，它的学习会更多一些。好，这也都是我们去年这个是我们去年的照片。那么创业夏令营呢，这个也都是重复的。那么创业的business camp is combined 2 weeks 10 days。这也是我们 Proof Track 的这个怎么样 teach kids how to open the company in 10 days。我们的每一个milestone，基本上我们是把这个怎么样创业呢？通过我们跟斯坦福的这个 professor， 原来在疫情的时候跟我们一起上课，然后我们跟他们一起 design 的这个，他们当然是20天，后来我把它shrink， 对，我也是比较 practice 啊，就把它 shrink 成10 day 的这个 milestone， 然后在每一天我是夏令营呢，我是亲自会在场，那么我们会要求小朋友每天呢有 milestone，they have to finish milestone before they go sleep。That's why we can start from day one. 从第一天 day one 的时候 we form the team to the last day final presentation. Every team 5 minutes and finish work page. It's excellent. In the last 2 years, we have very, very successful presentation and turnout for the summer camp. So this is our past. Okay. Okay. I think. Okay, so that's now we have a lot of parents here, and okay, so I finished the general summer camp introduction，所以我现在呢就是我们刚刚把这个夏令营的这个一些细节的给大家介绍，等一下我们 Q&A 的时候家长可以问问题，那么现在呢我会 turn to 这个青少年的这个分享过程啊，so first off, so now we turn to the second section that the roundtable sharing. So I wanted to introduce tonight's host, David E. David graduated from 4 years undergrad Wharton University, and also he take the 1-year accessory in education master degree. And David also have a many years of college consultant experience, so he working also for venture before. So now then I happen to know him because Ivy Campus refer David to my son. My second son actually studied together with them, so he's guiding my son for the college counselor. So after I met with him, he's very, very diligent and very smart, unconventional, this creative thinking. So now David is full-time joining me, my team, my school at the Springfield Commonwealth Academy as a guidance counselor and also the business development. 我稍微用中文介绍一下，所以 David 是沃顿本科毕业，然后也是在沃顿UPenn 的这个沃顿是在属于 UPenn， 然后 UPenn 的这个研究生教育学毕业。那么这个 David 呢David 是他的父母是韩国人啊，我一开始也以为他是Chinese， 他是韩国 Korean。Parents are from Korea。那么这 David 呢，就是我在认识他是 Ivy Campus 推荐帮我的孩子，帮我家老二这个申请大学。现在，所以呢，现在呢，我就觉得 David 非常的这个 smart 和 creative， 所以我就最后是雇佣了这个 David 加入到我现在新的学校，做我们整个学校帮助我们的学生申请大学的这个升学顾问，同时我们是 business manager。所以今天晚上呢，我们是 David 来 host 这个 round table 哈。所以 David is new face, so I'm gonna leave David to to host this roundtable. And thank you, David. You can take over.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, let's do it. So glad to be here, everyone. It looks like we have quite a few parents and students here today. So I guess to start off, then this panelist is not about me, right? It's about all of our amazing kind of accomplished students here who've taken part in our Viswise programs, are involved in our YEFA organization, and also our instructors that have been helping out with these programs, staying involved, and also kind of acting as mentors throughout the org as well. And so why don't we start actually with Frank and Ray then? They can maybe give some brief introductions, and then we can move in to the students next.
You want an introduction as into what the program contains?
Your self-introduction. Who are you? I know you think many people know you, but we might have a new audience today.
Okay, yeah. So my name is Ray Mathis. I have an MBA in finance. I was formerly an equity analyst. And then after that, I was a portfolio manager for several years and managed large cap value funds, real estate funds, energy funds, fixed income funds, including municipal bond funds and things like that. And before that and after that, I've been involved in a lot of private equity type work where, entrepreneurial activities, real estate transactions, things like that. So I have a pretty wide ranging background, and I'm pretty well versed in how Wall Street works. So, when I teach finance and entrepreneurship, I can bring a real world perspective because I've been there. And you can learn things from us that you won't learn in a book.
That's
it in a nutshell.
Yep. All right. Welcome everybody. My name is Frank Lin. I don't know if I can, come up to what Ray's level is per se, but me and him get along very well. We're both practitioners. Wall Street as well. My background actually was an engineer before. It took me a while as I was a professional student, or I tried to be one, before I went to Penn for business school. So David, it's good to see another, Penn guy here. That's for sure. Really enjoy the teaching aspect of it. Like Ray said, very good to see, let's say, the young people, the next generation, come up, but from an applied sense. That's pretty much what I am as well. Okay. My background in terms of experience is basically private equity, hedge funds, just all the major banks, Morgan Stanley, Credit Suisse, you name it. My last spot was Providence Equity Partners up here, the biggest TMT shop at the time in the world. So, seeing the deal flow from both deal side as well as fundraising side. So always on the front office. Like Ray said, I think the one thing we bring to the table is something that you cannot find in any book, which is the insight from real time. So for me, I can tell you this, I saw it from 2008, what was really important there, the ethical considerations as well as the investment side considerations. So I think it's something that, if it's interesting to your son or daughter, it's something that definitely they can get that does not exist even at the universities at this time. Thanks.
Okay, David.
Okay, my camera is having a little bit of a delay here, as you guys can see.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, let's move into introducing the students. So how about we start with Justin, and then we can go into Alex and Bill, who were the just recent last year's Diamond Challenge winners. And so a little bit of a congratulations to you guys. But yeah, how about we start with Justin?
Hey guys, my name is Justin, and I'm a senior at Lambert High School, which is a public high school in the suburbs of Atlanta. I'm headed off to Stanford University next year to study economics with a secondary in applied mathematics. And I got started with Viswise Academy and YEFA around 3 years ago when I was still a sophomore who didn't really know what I wanted to go into, but after taking an investment class with Ray, that really pointed me in the right direction. And since then, I've led teams to semifinals in Wharton's global investment competition and have captained the team to win a topical prize in the Diamond Challenge competition. Headed off to Invesco over the summer to work as a capital markets intern. Yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Go Trees.
All right, cool. I'm Alex, everyone. I'm a current junior in Colorado. Basically joined with, YEFA and Viswise around the same time as Justin, but it was like summer of freshman year. I think really I was super interested in finance investments at the time. And I think, it was really great experience to sort of dive deeper into that. Recently I've been doing a lot of work in startups and entrepreneurship, especially in education. So I'm really interested in education technology, and startups as a whole. And yeah, I was recently this past year, Bill and I, we won the Diamond Challenge, which is basically this huge entrepreneurship competition. So yeah, I think we're probably going to talk a little further about that as well.
Yeah, so hi everyone, I'm Bill. I'm also in grade 11. Contrary to everyone here, I currently live in Montreal, that's in Canada. So it's a different country. So just like Alex and Justin, I think we were in the same class about the finance and stock market around the same time. So that was like summer before like grade 9-ish. So yeah, I mean, both of them, they were my classmates during that course. That's where I met Alex and Justin. And then later on, yeah, I thought they had an opportunity for us to apply to volunteer for the organization. We all filled out the application. That's how I really got to meet Alex. And then as Alex said, later on, as we got to know each other better, we participated in the Diamond Challenge together. Actually 3 years together. And I mean, third time's the charm. This year we won. Last year we qualified finalists, and the year before only semi-finalists. So yeah, we definitely just did the competition a lot of times, and then we learned a lot. Thanks.
Great. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, and just as a reminder, just to parents too, the Diamond Challenge is probably one of the, if not the largest, entrepreneurship competition offered for high school students. And so, you know, I remember seeing the competition for the first time too around 2018, 2019. And even then, they were having a lot of participants coming through every year, but it surprised me that they've continued to grow consistently over the years. And yeah, I mean, their stats on their website is it's definitely impressive, right? They have a lot of teams from all over the world that come to compete every year. So having a team kind of end up at the summit and place at one of the top positions or places is a huge achievement. And so, yeah, props to you guys. Great job. And so, okay, how about we move into talking a little bit more about the two programs then? And so, once again, right, we have Raymond and Frank here. And so these are kind of our experts and instructors that are going to be helping us with the Viswise program, and they've been doing it every year. And so maybe if you guys want to also just speak more, I know Frank, you kind of talked about kind of the hands-on expertise, and even Raymond, you did too, that you guys will be able to bring experience-wise to a lot of the students. But what are some other key things that maybe the students will learn at the program?
The key thing that students are going to learn is how to go through the entire process of building a startup, from idea generation through business formation, through marketing, and it's a step-by-step process that's been proven to work time and time again. I think a lot of times people think that if they can just come up with a great idea or a great invention, that it will automatically sell. But that's not how it works. You have to identify the market and the size of the market, and you have to identify a problem that particular market is having, and you have to come up with a solution to a particular problem. So just coming up with the next widget is not going to earn you $1 million. You've got to find, why do people not have widgets? And then figure out how big is the market of people that don't have widgets. And so every day we go through a step-by-step process from start to finish. And by the end, every team that we've taught so far has generally done a really fantastic job of coming up with a very creative problem, a very creative solution, built their website, identified their target market, and been able to, in some cases, actually raise seed capital. That's one of the best parts of the Diamond Challenge, that there are cash awards that you win in order to use the seed capital to actually get your startup off the ground, if you so choose.
Great.
And then from my side, I guess what I can do is, since Ray talked about the entrepreneurship aspect of it, I can talk to it more from a portfolio construction investment point of view, since that's more my wheelhouse. But I think in terms of being successful, and whether you are an entrepreneur or someone, let's say, would do something a little bit more traditional and track, the one thing I would say that is shared as common is the will to be creative, the confidence and the courage to actually, stand up for what you believe and back your ideas up. And I think that that's consistent whether you do entrepreneurship or whether you do investment in general. Entrepreneurship probably even more so, because I always tell people, if you're coming up with an idea, believe it or not, the only person that actually believes it is you, because everybody else would already be doing it if they actually believed it. So one of the things that I try to do, which is, when I'm sort of instructing students, is not only teach them sort of top-down methodology in terms of how to do investment and whatnot. That's always fine, but always to think a little bit outside the box and ask yourself why you actually believe it. So one of the things that I do is I actually teach part-time. Actually, they call it full-time, but I teach at Providence College. I've been doing that for the last 4 years. I could have picked a school that was right next door to it, had a little bit more clout, I guess you could say, was Ivy. It probably has a few more tents out there than they should at this point in time. But I decided not to go with Brown because I thought, why not teach at a college that needs a little bit more help? Okay. And what I can tell you is that in the time that I've been there, we've seen a huge increase in terms of, students being able to get what they want. And the reason why is because my primary objective is actually just to take the limiter off students and have them create within the toolbox that we have. So at school, when I'm actually teaching this material, I found that the students themselves actually have instinctively better investment decisions than somebody my age. And the reason why is they actually know what's going on in the world. So something that would be very interesting is how do you put those two together, sort of quantitatively and qualitatively through frameworks and analysis, but more importantly, to believe in your idea. Because believe it or not, most of the time you're more right than we are. And that's true.
Right. Great. Okay. Yeah, some great points of advice there. Thanks, Frank. So yeah, in terms of the two programs, we're really excited to kind of have potential students joining in. Once again, there are kind of two different tracks. So one is going to be the Wall Street Investment Academy, which like Frank and Raymond went over, you guys will be learning about modeling, basics about kind of capital markets and such, trading. And when it comes to the entrepreneurship side of the camp, it will be kind of everything that goes into building a startup, right? So from ideation to brainstorming to inspiration, and helping kind of students take ideas and turn them into physical prototypes, products, digital, whatever the students really want to do, right? And so, yeah, a lot of great opportunities that you can get out of the programs. And also, if you do want to join YEF as well, let's move on maybe to the students then. So maybe starting with the Diamond Challenge winners. So Alex, Bill, you guys probably saw kind of the webinar chat already, but kind of going off of that, what do you guys think are kind of some of the valuable lessons you guys have learned, just being part of YEFA, or maybe even from the Viswise programs in the past summers that you think really contributed to your success in the Diamond Challenge?
Yeah. So I'd say, one of the things that was most valuable actually is just the people you meet. The connections. I'll just say it again. I'm from Canada, like Alex, he's like in the United States in Colorado. It's completely two different places. The fact that I met my teammate that was through YEFA, and then we formed a team together. So I think one of the most valuable things I got was just getting to know people that I wouldn't have known if I wasn't part of YEFA. Aside from that, obviously I also got a ton of knowledge in terms of investment, in terms of how I should structure my presentations, everything. The guys were so helpful, but I still think mainly it's the everyone, even the mentors, everyone that I got to know.
Maybe Alex, then if you want to give some pointers specifically kind of on ways that the program or anything helped you with the project specifically.
Well, yeah, I would also echo that. I think also there's a lot of the technical knowledge that we learn during these courses that's very helpful. I can't speak too much to like the actual product development part of the startup we worked on for Diamond, but a lot of like the financials aspects, all the modeling, a lot of that is based on the knowledge that we gained, in Ray's class, right? So I think there's also like very helpful components of all the different courses that you take that you can apply to areas that are even outside of what you originally took the class for. So I think that's also very helpful because there's a lot of interdisciplinary applications for everything that you learn at Viswise, right? Whether you go the entrepreneurship track or the investment track. So I think that's also a very valuable idea because just getting started in what I thought was just going to be solely a finance course opened a lot of doors to other opportunities, right? So I think it's also very valuable in that sense, where it not only are you able to gain more expertise and experience in one particular field, but also that might open your interests and open your ideas into other areas as well.
Well said. Yeah. And to kind of echo off of the interdisciplinary part, I agree. I think, the programs that Viswise offer, it might be labeled as finance or, as entrepreneurship and helping with a startup. It really is a collective program that helps, I guess, with general skills, right? And so even when it comes to applying for the Diamond Challenge, right, you don't have to come in as an aspiring business major, right? Or someone who wants to go into business, right? I'm sure too, when it comes to Alex and Bill, you guys probably aren't originally, econ or business majors. And so it doesn't matter really what you want to pursue or study in general too, right? There's really no bounds, no limits for kind of what you can create in terms of the challenge. It just comes down to, like they said, execution, making sure that everything you're learning, you're applying properly, and obviously thinking out of the box, right? Like Frank brings up. And so, awesome. Okay. And maybe if we can have Justin kind of step onto the panel here. Last but not least, but maybe you can speak kind of on the weighted competition, right? You've helped out as kind of a lead in the past for the competition and also had success. And maybe you can also kind of talk about just your experience in capital markets, kind of learning in that space, and maybe any kind of pointers, advice you have for students who are looking to dive into that kind of stuff as high schoolers, right? Because I feel like when it comes to business and finance too, it's a very tricky topic in high school, right? They don't really teach you business specifically in high school. I feel like the closest classes they will have in high school is maybe like the AP microeconomics or the macroeconomics class, right? And so there's not really any resources, right, that public private school systems give out there. Yeah, what are some things that you've learned, maybe some experiences you might recommend for like any finance business aspiring kids?
Yeah. So like I mentioned before, I got in touch with Viswise and Yefa going into my sophomore year when I wasn't really sure about what I wanted to study in the future. And not only did those two organizations point me in the right direction career-wise, but they also like helped develop my leadership skills a lot. And something I want to say about the way that Viswise mentors their students with the Diamond Challenge and the Wharton Global High School Investment Competition is that they have a technical emphasis on topics in finance and business and startups and entrepreneurship and whatnot, but they also have a huge emphasis on the leadership component as well. I remember when I was going through the investment competition for the first time, I hadn't really stepped into any formal leadership roles before, but after like applying and talking with Angeline and Ray, they like designated me as a team leader. And during the course of the competition, I learned a lot about finance, for sure. But also like there were many meetings that like me and Angeline had, for example, in which she like walked me through how to be like a efficient leader and someone who's able to lead teams well, work with other people in a team setting. And since then, I have stepped into more leadership roles with these types of competitions. Like I've led 3 teams in the Wharton Global High School Investment Competition and also 2 teams in the Diamond Challenge. And I'd say that the impact that Viswise and Yefa had on me in terms of leadership was really significant as well. In terms of capital markets, like I said again, my first investment class was with Ray, and that was like a really, really great primer on all of the topics within finance. And the way that Ray teaches the class, it's not like a textbook, like I mean, it is PowerPoint, but I mean, it's really engaging and it really like stimulates interest in the field. So, since then, taking Ray's class, I've gotten really interested in the industry, and I've worked as an intern in a local wealth management firm. And also I'm going off to like a global asset manager to work with their trading and quant teams over the summer. So yeah, my expertise in capital markets, not quite as extensive as probably Ray, Frank, or Angeline, but I'd say that Viswise and Yefa have definitely contributed to that a lot as well.
David, I would like adding some point here because I know those students very well from beginning they joined. So one thing is that many people might not know what's a EFR, so I'm gonna showing a little bit web page here. So this is a EFR web page, and EFR is a platform that for our students. As you can see, I think that the team here, they probably just recently changed the web page. Oh yeah, well, you bring back. See, this is our high school students, all the econ students that have an opportunity. This is a little bit like AFI, like AFI is for the whole adult and community world with every single subject, almost many, right? Planting and dancing, music, careers, investment, you name it. But this one is like a youth part of the nonprofit platform. So as you can see, Bill and Alex, they are our co-president, and Grace is also the champion in the investment. Also, many of the students are like a few of students received the Ivy League college this year, and we see how they grow. So definitely we have multi people join us advisor. So they have opportunity to. We also have an event. We have a foremost event. One is YSIC. That's actually final. It's next Friday. Next Friday, we will invite the industry profession finance to judge. It's called Youth Sustainable Investment Challenge. This is a similar timing with Wharton's investment challenge. So if a student cannot find the team, you can actually join us. And we give out 2,000 cash in the first prize. I think this year have every year we have cash prize about $10,000 allocated to top 10 team. So the second program is the YSAC. That is okay. So let's see this. YSAC is our art. That the art is first year is the future of the food. We have a lot of portfolio and 100 art come from global. It's all the this is from Harvard art education. So she leading the last year. This year also about to finish. The other program is we're gonna have during the summer is the Global High School Student Social Impact Conference. So all the students who around the world who organize a nonprofit that opportunity to join the competition, and we have a committee to decide the top 20 or top 15 and invite them to Zoom like one team by team. Then during the conference, we actually vote the best team. So you can see some previous recording there. So I'm just want to show you that 就刚才I'm going to speak a little bit in Chinese parents. 所以我们这个就像 AFI 一样 Alliance Impact， 我们有成人的这种公益平台啊，这个有200多个微信群，这个我们有几万个，但现在已经一直都是在5万多个华人的家庭。那么在这个 AFI 的这个平台里面，这个思慧学院呢也是 non-profit， 也是思慧学院的这些tuition support EFR。So the Viswise tuition supported the whole community of AFI. AFI is all the Zoom, 20 Zoom, New York office. So we are the group of the community. So EFA 是我们青少年的一个公益平台。那刚才大家看到了，都是我们优秀的学生通过这个 Discord 自发主题，当然是在我们的 guidance 下面。我基本上像过去我都是2个星期跟他们开一次会，所以my slogan is inspire global leader for tomorrow. So we actually Bill and Alex, we own the meeting right after so we can reschedule to tomorrow. So we actually guiding them how to know each other, manage the program, launch the global. So it's a lot of opportunity, not just to join the competition to individual excellent, but also emphasize the team excellent. 所以我们这个耶法和这个思慧还有 AFI 的这个宗旨，就是希望我们能培养更好的这个华裔的这个优秀的领导者。那么他们不光是个人优秀，而且是整体优秀。所以我们呢是大学生做 CEO 哈，然后呢就 co-president high school. So I think that David and then Justin will be candidate to help the run as a college student, like as college student on the advisory and a high school co-president, those kind of structure. And Ray and Frank and I, we all behind the scene to advise them. So this is a very, very good opportunity for the self-driven high school student. But sometimes you can also can learn from other people. I emphasize on role model. So I think once you build a role model, the other student can follow too. So I want to say those three are one of course, as you can see, I don't want to ignore other excellent student and volunteer. We are many. I don't want to miss anyone's name, but here's tonight we actually was going to invite many of them, but some of them obligation. So just want to see we have many high school student has been helped contribute to year fast growth, and Alex and Bill also in the last 3 years has been helped the year fast. And then Justin actually fly to one of the summer camp to be a speaker and advisor counselor. So Justin also due to his excellent study through us, change his life and interest, guiding him through the finance career. So he has had a paid internship since last year. So this year he also paid internship with the college student. So I'm sure that Alex and Bill and other students will follow that. So this is what I'm adding on. So David, do you want to continue?
Yeah, I think we're about going to wrap up at least the questions we had from the panelists. Maybe we can open up Q&A from the chat. And if any of the parents or students, if you guys have any questions, just click in the Q&A drop down below and feel free to ask anything or in the chat. And so I think yeah.
Okay, so David, maybe I can take the Q&A part. But before the Q&A part, I think that those students, maybe I want everyone here on the chat screen because it's hard to get those kids together on the screen. I'm missing them so much. So Alex and Justin and Bill, anything that you want to see beyond just this competition, right? Thinking about how can, your audience might be high school student, listen to you, might be parents, talking about your experience, and maybe your parents support you. What advice you have for the parents in the panel here, three of you?
Oh yeah, sure. I guess I can start. For parents, I think a big thing is just like a lot of times when you're in high school, it's very hard to determine what path you want to go down and what you're interested in. And I think that's also again stresses the importance of kind of exploring and looking into different areas and fields to dive deeper into. So I would say really a huge key tip of advice is to always keep your options open. Don't get too narrowed down into one specific field, especially if you're relatively early into high school as a student. So there's a lot of room for exploration and a lot of different courses and offerings that you can sort of work towards. And I think my advice is a lot of times your focuses will shift if there's certain things that you find more interesting than others. And then you just need to sort of follow those ideas and sort of do what you really enjoy, especially when you're learning through different courses.
I can echo off of that. Like I've said for the third time, I didn't really know what I wanted to do going into sophomore year before I took classes with Ray and met Angeline. My parents are both software engineers and they kind of forced me to go into software. I didn't really enjoy it. And it wasn't until I took Ray's investment course that I realized that that is the field that I was interested in. So I would say for parents, keep an open mind and let your child pursue what they are genuinely interested in pursuing, and that will take them much farther than forcing them into any direction. And then for the students, I'd say a good piece of advice is to pay special attention to maintaining your relationships with people. I think I've done a decent job doing that with Ray and Angeline. Like I stay in contact with them all the time, and they're really great resources that I can turn to at any time. Yeah.
Oh, you called me when I was in Egypt. Midnight 3 o'clock. Okay. Anyway, anyway, every student of ours, like you guys can always contact us if we have a time. We can help you. And Frank is very great too. And Frank was actually teaching most of the investment, and Ray will chip in part of the investment and also business. So Frank will be 10 hours to stay with the student, like 3 hours or 4 hours. Sometimes student can call him, can chatting for whole night. And Frank is very, very inspired, like my first one, Alexander, was definitely, that's another story that inspired my first son. My first son right now turned around from one of the very naughty, difficult, challenging ADHD kids to someone now he's in college first year, 4.0, finding his confidence. And all this is through growth with the whole community, with everyone. We learn from each other, I think. So Bill, I met you, it's the first time your Canada team, right? You win to the final, and then all of them, including Justin. Justin this year actually is the second time at top 50, and then you also top 10. And Justin this year, you also go to the Diamond Challenge final too? Did you?
So like I had a bunch of college apps. I didn't.
Oh, so you didn't go. Okay, so I'm gonna tend to Bill. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I didn't get the chance to say my advice yet, so I'll just do that first. So to add on to what Alex and Justin said, I think that another thing is just consistency. Like the organization for YEFA, we're volunteering right now. I mean, maybe we didn't think much of it when we started volunteering for it, but now if you look back, it's been like it's been like 2 years we've been volunteering at the organization. We made a lot of progress. I think if you just keep sticking to something, I'm going to say persistent. Same thing for competitions. As you can see, we didn't just all participate once and then just stop doing it. If you just keep going back at it, eventually you're gonna have some kind of success where we're learning. Yeah.
What about the last Ray and Frank? Do you have any advice for parents? Then we can tend to parents QA, okay?
Yeah, the kids are expensive. Now you have to pay tuition.
Okay, Frank.
Oh, I think for me it's actually not for me to say. Like I said, it's for the students to say most of the time. Just like they have said before, you can tell each of the students that's in this panel has their own direction now, and it takes some time sometimes. So the key for us, I mean, I think, I'm a parent too, so I have to think about this myself. I got to make sure I'm patient enough to let sort of my daughter develop and figure out what's going on as well, right? You always want them to get to the finish line first, but you got to remember it's a build. It's not something that just occurs overnight. So I've seen it too many times to be able to tell you. I mean, I've got enough students on this phone of mine. It's probably like 100 long. They contact me all the time, so I'm always jammed with that. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's really fulfilling for, I think, myself and folks like Ray and Angie as well, in terms of just seeing, your sons and daughters sort of develop into the people that they really can be. But so that's really the objective there. I think that's the key, is to work collaboratively together. And I always tell the parents to always reach out to me if there's any issues. We can always discuss it as well.
Yeah, so I want to say that Frank is also training college student. He's a professor in the local college, so it's just his hobby. He has his venture, his capital company. But many students in that school never have a student go to investment bank as a job. Hired by investment. But since Frank become the instructor there, he has been inspired so many. And last year, I have a couple of students show up online to inspire us. So this year, Frank, you're going to invite a couple of your students too, okay? So
no problem. It's like how many you want. It's easy.
Yeah, right. So I think the most important thing that you get to know many people and resource and have someone grow together with you. Okay, it's great sharing. So I'm going to turn to parents. So parents can type your question and also can raise your hand. You can actually speak. Angie, you're saying.
Yes, hi. Thank you for the opportunity. I really appreciate the time that you guys put this session together again. This is my second time attending your sessions. Very, very appreciate it. Thank you, Alex and Justin and Bill, sharing your thoughts. And it's I couldn't agree with you more. Being a parent, I think I have the same idea, like, you know, just getting the kids exposed to as many opportunities as possible. And I thank you all for saying that, just to confirm me being a parent, you know, marching in the right direction for my son. I get the freshman son, and he's going to attend the entrepreneurship camp. So I'm really looking forward to getting himself exposed to as many different things as possible. He seems to like finance or money. He really like how money can act fast. So I'm looking forward to having Ray and Frank guiding my son and having some, you know, some just open his minds and, you know, ears. And, you know, we live in the Silicon Valley. It's you know, everyone is it's coding kids, but he's not a coding kid. So I'm looking for an opportunity for him. So my question is, you know, I was wondering if one of you are presidents and you guys are amazing kids, and would any one of you guys would be in the summer camp, being a role model for the young kids who's coming to the camp. That's it. Thanks so much.
Yeah, I definitely fly them if any one of them are available. So we are actually discussing that. I opened the spot to our Year 5 leader. I mentioned to them during last meeting. So thank you, Angie. And there's a parents question here. By the way, I still have a lot of parents online. Please type your question or raise your hand. So this parents, Eugene asked, at what grade are students able to take the investment course you mentioned? When do they taking in the summer or during the school year? Thanks. For parents who have kids in middle school right now, when and where should we start if we want to help students to explore the interest in this field? So I actually just want to tell you, in the past, during the COVID, we actually have a series of class from elementary school. So so many of them also grew up the elementary school to middle school and high school. We have kids CEO, kids finance, kids bankers, and also have a high school student personal finance. So I think that there's no age to learn from personal finance and investment, but definitely right now, even the Massachusetts, the state, mandatory personal finance be in the school curriculum. So for our student camp, the investment camp is pretty difficult, right? Challenge, I would say. So we require student has to be 8th grade and above, like 8th grade, almost go to 9th grade. Then once you finish, you can join any competition you want. By the way, this is a summer camp learning class. We do not want to, you know, violation some of the university rules about joining the competition. That's why we have our own competition. However, learning those class during the summer camp, and we will give you more resource, you are able to form your team. You know, you don't have to all the team to be learning this. I see many of the students learning by themselves, and then we go back to school, they form the finance club, they actually coaching other students to join any other competition. Those of you would not violate any rules, right? So so I would say 8th grade, so many of our, including our champion team in 2021 to 22, half of the teams 8th grade gonna transition 9. So by the time, it's a whole process that you take in class, then you understand, and then the completion themselves usually take 2 to 3 months. It's a whole half-year process. That's why Ray just mentioned that it's time expensive, and also tuition. You know, you have to. It's everybody's time, right? Both instructor, myself, and other people, including your student, are very busy if you are senior year. So you got ready that summer. It's good time. You know, you join different camp, but here you can mingle. So I think summer will be good time to start. You can, once you start once, then later you can come back again. We teach different, because every time you're going to learn different things. You can join investment now and then Diamond later. So exploit, maybe Ray, maybe Frank, we were thinking that resume some online class for the kids, for younger kids. So that Taylor, so I'm gonna thinking about that when they have more time. Anyone else have a question? So Diamond Challenge doesn't, yeah, so everyone can answer that, right? For Diamond, so for the investment, they require the same school. For the Diamond Challenge, you can form any team from anywhere, global, like Alex and Bill from 2 countries. So I think right now it's 10 o'clock in New York time. So if there are no question, many of them probably familiar with that already. And then thank you for joining today's section. I want to thank you for David to chip in host. And thank you, 3 wonderful, excellent students join us, find your busy time. And thank you for your parents' support too, willing for you to show up to supporting us. And definitely our most favorable 2 instructors that have been growing with us together from day one, Ray and then Frank. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, and bye. And all the parents, please feel free to ask questions. Oh, before you go, I would actually 2 videos that you might don't see them. I will show the video again.
Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Jordan. Ladies and gentlemen, Yao Ming.
Angeline, you're muted.
can you copy the email to everyone? So yeah. Oh, thank you, Justin. Answer the question. The question is how long the competition, how many hours you commit to do each competition. It depends, right? Okay, so you usually will be at the beginning. At the beginning, everybody a little bit loose, 2 to 3 hours, but the team leader always spend twice of the time. And if you are team leader, you assume that you take more responsibility. Okay, so please, you feel free to sign up with us. Always, we have you have our email at info@viswise.com, and you also have my information. You are in WeChat, and you can always reach out to our students. But please be understand they're very busy. Our teacher instructor also have another job. But any question about camp, please direct to us. And the video was made by our summer camp program, Basley. Okay, and thank you everybody. And thank you everyone here and our panelists and also parents. Have a good evening. Bye-bye. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.